Hi, good morning. It's Jane Bell here, also known as the Time Smart Teacher, and I want to talk to you today about ineffective management, especially in schools. I was reading an article the other day from CMI magazine, and I was really shocked when I read the feature from the editor that said up to 40% of line managers are ineffective. Okay, so that's 40% of your leaders or your middle leaders at school who are ineffective. And what's the issue with this? We do not lead productive departments or productive schools if we have inefficient managers. Now, I don't think anyone sets out to be an ineffective manager, but I think there are some problems within schools that could maybe rectify this situation. So a lot of our middle leaders in schools are perhaps promoted quite early, or they're having to step in to cover absence. Maybe they're not ready. Maybe they're being chosen because they're cheap and they're available. And then what happens is a lot of the time they don't get any training from the school about how to be a middle leader, how to run a department successfully, and they're just expected to get on with it and somehow magically come up with the goods. So do you know who your effective middle leaders are in your school? Do you know who isn't? And what are you doing to actually support them? Or are you just twisting the thumb screws, magically hoping for them to get better and putting a lot of stress on them at the same time? So what can be done? So you need to be teaching your middle leaders in school about how they can become more effective. So one of the key things mentioned in the article, so I'm just going to have a quick look at my notes here, is this idea that you need to be making the best use of your existing resources. So we all know schools don't have a lot of money at the moment, so your leaders need to be trained on how to best use the resources that they have at their disposal. So that could be staff in your department, it could be their expertise, it could be their background, their degree choice. Are they better suited to teaching physical or human geography, for example? Have they got expertise teaching A level? Should they be going, teaching the top end of the school? So thinking about human resources, also thinking about your department resources. Have you got kind of lapse or paid subscriptions to software that you don't use or you use sporadically? Could you have a bit of a mastermind session on using that better, or having some training on it? Also, think about your non-digital network. Okay, so in your schools, do you know people with experience that could come in and deliver sessions or workshops to students in your department or to your whole school in general? For example, I have a really good friend who has a husband who works at Lancaster University called Dmitry Yumashev. Shout out to Dmitry. And he is a climate change researcher. And as soon as I knew this, I was so keen to get him in to speak to our GCSE geography cohort and to deliver some cutting edge research on climate change. And it was a fantastic success. And if you do happen to want his services, I will put a link to him on LinkedIn below. He's amazing. So there you have it. 40% of leaders, that means middle leaders in schools and senior leadership in schools, are ineffective. The question is, what are you going to do to support them? That's it from me today. See you next time.